Councillor Tim Hallam and Councillor David Grindell, who's speaking, and we think that Councillor Steve Carr will be coming on. We have Pip Hallam Davis with us, and I hope that everything is going well with you all. The COVID situation, as we all know, is a terrible thing. We have lost some people in Stapleford and its surrounding area because of COVID, and we must always remember them, including obviously Ray Darby, Councillor for South West Ward of Stapleford and Borough. So I've made a little list here for later on, things that I would like you to take on board. So the first thing is we will look at the situation of our little agenda. The agenda might change a little bit, I don't know yet, but we'll ask for a police update from Councillor Richard MacRae. Richard, please.
Yeah, I knew you'd do that while I was inviting people to the meeting. This is weird because I'm just talking to councillors and you know all this anyway, but here we go, because we can put the video on after, can't we, so people can watch it at their own leisure.
Yes.
Just give me a second. I knew your introductions normally take a lot longer than that, so I wasn't ready. Right, that's not it. Police update, right, here we go. I can't see this. Right, so we've had a police update off the police, and it says local policing priorities were reviewed on the 13th of October at the quarterly local policing priority setting meeting. Broxtowe priorities for October to December were agreed as follows. So number 1 is burglary of people's homes. Number 2 is antisocial use of motor vehicles. And number 3 is targeting prolific shoplifters in our town centres. And then it says the crime figures, 169 crimes were reported here in October 2020. And then crime types, we've got antisocial behaviour, 49. We've got violence and sexual offences, 42, and vehicle crime, 16. I'm going to guess there's a lot more than that, but people just don't ring in and report stuff all the time. They're quick enough to jump on social media and complain. You know, it's good to get the message out, but people do really need to be ringing the police, Crime Stoppers, you know, anything like that, and getting them reports in. Then
could I just ask you to remind people to ring the police and get the number from them, because this will help, won't it, Richard? Yeah,
definitely. And the thing is, if they do that, then when the inspectors and that go in the morning or in the afternoon, you know, when they start the shift, they look at the calls that's come in. If there's a lot of people saying there's a certain activity happening in a certain place, then they can action that. They're not going to go by what people are putting on Facebook and other social media platforms. So, you know, the important message is to ring it in. Use Crime Stoppers if you don't want to give your personal details. And there's also a link, which I'll get shared in a bit, where it has a breakdown of all the crimes in the specific areas as well, you know. So there's also, Inspector Riley's also got, if you go on the Notts Police website, you can search for his newsletter to have a read of as well, which is a pretty good thing. So then at the minute, you've got we've got about 5 different police campaigns going off at the minute. So when people always say you never see the police in Stapleford, my answer to that is you never see a window cleaner, but your windows are clean. So, you know, the police are there. They always have been. There's more of them at the minute because of all these operations going on. And that's because, you know, lots of people have been, you know, telling the police it's about time you came to Stapleford and did stuff. So here we go, you know, it's our turn. So Operation, excuse me if I get these wrong, Operation Beyond, and it says the patrols employ the tactic of engage, explain, encourage, enforce. And it says here in response to VOVID, I think it means COVID regulation breaches, because that's what it kind of sounds like. So yes. They're basically telling people, you know, behave or you'll get into trouble. You're not getting into trouble straight away. So that's a good thing, I suppose. Operation Reacher, proactively targeting criminals. Over the past month, the team has been responsible for 18 arrests, the seizure of 5 illegal vehicles, executed 12 magistrates' warrants, and taken dangerous weapons off the streets. These fantastic results make the community safer while sending the clear message that criminal behaviour will not be tolerated in Broxtowe. So I think that's brilliant that they're doing that. And again, people need to keep ringing in. That's where they get the intelligence from, and then they can action it, you know, and then someone's door can go through. Operation Larkspur in Stapleford. This continues to make inroads in tackling antisocial behaviour, youth violence and drugs related issues in the area. And then you've got Operation Periscope. On the 19th of November, there was a shooting incident in Stapleford whereby a male victim received a gunshot wound to his arm. Updates have been published, on various social media things to let people know, and 5 arrests have been made on that. And the guy who got shot is a neighbour of mine, actually, and yeah, he's doing all right. So I did say to him, things you do to get out of work, but he's okay, and stop hanging around with idiots. So then the last one, Christmas drink drive campaign. December will bring the annual national anti-drink drive campaign, but that message is the same all year round, isn't it? If you're going to go out in your car, have a designated driver. If you're going to have a few beers, leave your car at home, or leave it in the car park and walk home. Be safe and have a good Christmas. So yeah, that's really the update. And as I always say to everybody, if they can contact any of the councillors. You don't have to be borough councillors. It can be borough, town, county councillors in other areas. If you've got something you want to report to the police and you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, let us guys know as councillors. But more importantly, it's a lot better if you can ring Crime Stoppers or 101. You don't have to give your name and address. It's better if you do, but you don't have to. And just report it, even if it's something minor, because lots of them things, job done in it, like you say, and then they get people off the street. So yeah, that's it on the police thing. So I would say, has anyone got any questions? But I'll look on the Facebook thing and see if anybody's commenting on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Tim, you'll keep an eye on that. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Richard MacRae, for that update. We come now to town update, and that's from Councillor Tim Hallam. Tim, please. Thank you. No, no.
Tim, just wait a minute. Someone's commented on Facebook, 2 people now saying they can't hear any of us speaking. Yeah. Look on the Facebook thing and see if anybody's commenting on there. I'll ask them, can you hear anyone else?
Liz has come up.
I don't know. I've just put, can you hear anybody speaking? Let's see what they say. If they can hear any of us, I don't know.
Well, we're sorry about this.
Can you hear that?
Yes, yes. Well, we can hear each other, but I'm not sure to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Richard MacRae, for that update.
Yeah, you're all right.
That's okay.
Yeah, because there's a delay between us talking on here and it appearing on Facebook, isn't there? Let's see if anyone.
Yes, it is. You're quite right, Richard. Yes.
Oh no, it says, "Can you hear anyone speaking? We just can't hear Tim."
Ah.
So I'm guessing they can hear the rest of us then. Hey, oh, there's
looking into that. Tim's looking into that now. Let's go to a commercial break.
You're gonna have to tell us a joke, David.
No, it's too near Christmas.
I could hear you, Richard, but I wasn't on it when Tim was speaking.
Okay, that was weird.
I don't know. I missed
that, Elizabeth.
I'm just looking now. If anyone can, I can hear you, Richard and David, but not Tim.
Oh, right.
Okay. Well, if you speak, Pip, can they hear you?
I don't know. Can they hear me?
Yes, we can.
Not us, you nutter. Let's see. I'm just looking at the comments, see if anyone. Oh, Jake's joined. And Jake, can you hear anyone speaking? We're just having technical issues at the minute.
Okay, so this should be sorted now.
Can we just go back then, because people couldn't hear you, Tim?
No, that's fine. It's obviously it's because I'm streaming, so so it's trying to it's trying not to give me feedback.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, this is why I need another computer. Any excuse to buy another computer. Hopefully.
Sorry, guys.
Hopefully, people will be able to pick up on this now. I'd appreciate it if somebody on Facebook can confirm that they can hear me now.
Thank you. Once we got confirmation, could I ask you to go back to the deal again? Because...
Yeah, we'll do. Absolutely.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
All right. I'll go on then. Now it has gone quiet.
Yeah, it has gone quiet. Yeah.
Well, I'm here. You're here.
I'm just waiting to see if someone comments to say if they can hear Tim speaking, and then we can carry on, can't we?
Can everybody hear Tim speak?
Yeah,
Tim.
yeah, they can.
Right. Okay, that's brilliant. I'll carry on then. Sorry about the technical hiccup.
Back to the town bid, yes.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. Yeah, so sorry about the technical hiccup. Hopefully everybody can hear all right now. So yeah, so the Stapleford town deal. I'm not going to mention as much as I can help it specific sites, because some of those are still contracts under negotiation or contracts yet to be signed off. So it would be irresponsible while negotiations are ongoing for me to give too much information publicly. Although I just want people to understand that that's not because I don't want to tell people. It's not because Richard and David and everybody else doesn't want to tell people. It's because, you know, there's certain things that we've just got to keep close to our chest until we're ready for all of it to go public. Last thing we want is to jeopardise a £25 million bid and the contracts that go into that by letting the cat out of the bag too soon. Some of you might be already aware that that happened not so long back, and it made things very confusing. So yeah, in essence though, it's progressing really well. We're at the final stages of the Stapleford bid. It's going to be submitted to government at the end of January, and the first Borough Council meeting of the new year will be the Jobs and Economy Committee that I chair, where we're actually signing off on the content of the bid and saying, yes, this is good, this is ready to submit to government. The council officers have been working really, really hard on this, and it's as good as it could possibly be. The shape of it is there are three main projects. The first one, which I think is really exciting, is a new facility on Hickings Lane Park, which will combine a sports pavilion complex for sports teams to be able to use much better, much more modern, energy efficient, and viable facility that can be multi-purpose, and support the existing sports teams that we've got in Stapleford, who are absolutely excellent, but also be able to support more use than just those sports teams as well, and also combine the youth services, Stapleford Youth Club, to be able to move there, because the Stapleford Youth Services have been looking for quite some time at a place that they could relocate to that has got better outdoor amenity for the kids. Where they're currently located, whilst it's a great building and it's nice and centrally located, if the youth services team want to take the kids out to kick a ball around and do some outdoors activities, it just isn't viable where it is. So that's combining those is looking really promising, and so far everybody's on board with it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that progresses. The town centre facility has changed slightly because certain sites that we were looking at weren't available. Other sites have become available, but they're in some ways less optimal. At the moment, there's a plan which is going to the board tomorrow to look at relocating the Victoria Street car park to elsewhere in the town centre, and potentially to build a new facility that combines shopping, indoor markets, and some office space that on the first floor, maybe second floor. So it's got like a commercial and a business and a community aspect to this town centre development, which is great, because what the town really needs is a centrepiece. We've struggled for as long as Stapleford's been around, which predates the Doomsday Book, I think, with being a really long and narrow town centre, which means that the footfall is distributed over the entire length, like a mile length, and it doesn't really work in the modern way of shopping. People want a centre that they can go and visit. So the idea behind this, apart from providing facilities that people will use, that people are interested in, is also to create like a centre of mass to the town, so that hopefully if we can concentrate the footfall a little bit more, then it will be beneficial to everybody. So that's really cool. And the other one, which I know the MP is really keen on, and the county council are really keen on, is the provision of better cycling facilities in the town. Not something that I know very much about. I'm a commuter like a lot of people, so my workplace is outside of cycling distance. But I know lots of people that would cycle to work or college or university if Stapleford was better connected, and obviously this would reduce road traffic congestion, and have an environmental benefit and have a health benefit. So as much as it's not something that I particularly subscribe to, I know that you've got into it, Richard, recently, haven't you? You've been cycling everywhere. It's not something that particularly pushes my buttons, but I can certainly see the advantage of it. So that's the three main threads of it. I'd go into more detail, but some of the details haven't really been finalised. Some of it's wrapped up in a lot of complexity and a lot of negotiations at the moment, but within the next 4 weeks, pretty much all of this information will go public, along with glossy brochures and everything like that. So, and in the meantime, if anybody's got any questions about it, then let us know. Get in touch with any of us. Get in touch with the town council. Get in touch with the borough council. Whoever. Everybody's involved in it. So whatever questions anybody might have, there will be somebody guaranteed that can answer them. Sorry, I've gone on about the Towns deal for a very long time, but there's another important thing that's come up recently, which people will have seen in the news probably yesterday. Is in my opinion, very disappointing result of a study by a government committee to the about HS2 and potentially relocating the HS2 station from Towton to East Midlands Parkway. Now, I'm gutted about this. I really hope that that when this goes in front of Parliament, that they don't agree to that recommendation. It's not going to stop HS2 from ploughing a line through the middle of the community. It's not. The line will still happen, maybe sooner, maybe later, but the line will still happen. The difference is we won't have the benefit of the station on our doorstep. The station will be in the backside of nowhere on the other side of the River Trent, surrounded by naught but fields and tumbleweeds. And the thing about stations is that they're meant to be located where people are, where people can benefit from them, where businesses can set themselves up around them to take advantage. Putting it in the middle of a bunch of fields, somewhere sort of no man's land in between Rushcliffe and somewhere in Leicestershire, doesn't tick anybody's boxes. So whilst I can see that the government might be tempted to go for this because it's cheaper to build in the middle of nowhere, how does that help us? You know, we'll get all the disadvantages, none of the advantages. So if anybody's of a mind, then, you know, get in touch with Darren Henry, get in touch with anybody else that you know that's politically involved, and push this, because it doesn't matter whether you're on the pro HS2 camp or the anti HS2 camp. If it's going to happen, we want it to happen here. We need those benefits. We need that. We need billions of pounds worth of investment in this area because we've been overlooked for too long. And if it doesn't happen in Towton, then we will have none of that, and we'll be overlooked for another 30 years yet to come. So sorry that I got a bit ranty, but this is too important for stupid decisions to be made at the last minute by government. All right, that's it. I'm going to end on that rant.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
David.
I will say to you, Tim, can you look to see if you've got any questions coming up on what you've been speaking about? But while you're looking, I will say that we are disappointed about HS2 at the moment. A lot of money has been spent by Broxtowe on trying to plan for the future. And at the moment, things are thrown up in the air. We want HS2 to be at Towton, Stapleford Station, whatever you want to call it. It's very important for business, for housing, and there's a lot more things besides. Have we got any questions come up, Tim? Have you?
No, we haven't got any questions.
Okay, then we'll move straight on then. Thank you very much, Tim Hallam. We'll move straight on to Richard MacRae, who's going to talk about highways, according to my agenda update. Thank you, Richard.
Right. Well, we've had some good news and some that's probably not as good, but it's all good stuff anyway. So after ages and ages and what seems forever, and you know, Pinfold Lane's actually going to be redone. I'm hoping by the amount of time they're spending on actually doing Pinfold Lane, they're going to drag it all, relay it all, and make it look like a brand new road. You know, that should have all been done when Aldi was done, but it is what it is. And that's it. It does actually say Pinfold Lane, the whole length, and that's, well, all of it. And they're starting the works from 8 o'clock on Monday the 18th of January, and then they finish at 5 o'clock on Friday the 29th of January. So that's a good week and a bit, isn't it? That's not just over a week's work. So hopefully, well, it's nearly 2 weeks actually. It's 2 weeks, isn't it? Hope that's got to be the whole road, hasn't it? That can't just be patching up, and I think people will be angry if they're going to take 2 weeks just patching it up. I'm hoping it's the whole thing.
Well, can I say, interrupt you? I'm very sorry. Can I say that obviously you, Tim, and myself have been calling for this for many years to be done. So hopefully it will be.
Yeah, and I suppose the bad news is if you live on there, it just means you can't park on there during that time. But then again, you know, they've got to get the road done. So there's a temporary prohibition of driving, waiting, loading and unloading. But of course, the fire engine will be exempt from that. You know, they're not going to say the fire engine got get out. So, you know, that's will be a priority.
Fine.
They need to get,
Minority.
you know, that will be done. So that's good news. Still not heard anything about Morbridge Lane, because I was told Morbridge Lane's being done as well. You know, that's another one. All we can do is just keep pushing the county council to let us know when it's going to be done, and we've been told it is. So, you know, hopefully that's a good thing. And then the other two things I've got, I'll be as quick as I can. On the 15th. On the 15th of October, so the other month, there was two petitions was taken to the county council that I'd helped some residents with. The first one was for Eaton's Road in Stapleford, and just in case you haven't seen the response that's come back, because it's asking for the council to turn Eaton Road into a residents parking scheme, and this was what, I'm not saying every resident wanted, but the majority of, that's why they're looking at it. So the petition went to the council on the 15th of October. They've sent me a response which is dated the 3rd of December, and they've just basically said Eaton's Road is a residential cul-de-sac located to the southwest of the town centre. Few of the properties have off-street parking available. The northern half of the road is already subject to a parking scheme. The county council will carry out a parking survey to determine whether intrusive non-resident parking takes place and the extent to which it affects the availability of on-street parking for residents. Depending on the outcome of this assessment, a permit scheme may be considered for inclusion in a future year's programmes of works. I mean, so that's good that they're going to at least they're listening to you guys, and they're going to look into it. Now, whether they come back and go yay or nay, and if they do say yes, it's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen if they say yes. If they say no, then we can take it down that route and see what's what. So I suppose that's good news for the residents on Eaton's Road if that's what they requested. And then the other one was for residents parking scheme on Horace Avenue. Horace Avenue's already got a parking scheme, and I've always said these residents parkings, I don't think they're much cop myself. That's just my personal opinion, because they kick in the daytime when people are at work or out or whatever, and then in the evening they're not valid. And what happens is, on Horace Avenue, people are parking on there to go to a certain pub that's quite close by. I won't say the name of the pub because, you know, not fair on Webster to do that. So anyway, the residents on there, and this had gone up and down the whole street. There were 68 people who'd signed the petition, and I'm guessing that's the majority of the houses down there. And they was asking for a modification. They basically wanted it to be a 24-hour parking scheme instead of just 9 till 5. And then that would mean in the evening when these people are coming home from work, they'd be able to park there because there's not people parked up using local facilities. So the council have replied, and they've put Horace Avenue is a residential cul-de-sac located off Derby Road in the town centre. None of the properties have off-street parking available. The parking restrictions on the road form part of a package of parking measures on several residential streets near to the town centre. They were designed to provide a balance between improving access to on-street parking for residents and also improving or providing parking for the town centre's evening economy. If the additional parking that takes place in the evening is a result of residents returning home from work or receiving visitors, extending the hours of operation will not address the problem. If the problems are caused by visitors to nearby pubs, restaurants, etc., extending the hours of operation may have an adverse impact on those businesses or move the problem somewhere else. The only solution to this would be to extend the hours of operation of permit schemes on the other nearby roads as well, which is a bit strange because it wasn't the other roads that was asking, it was just this one specific road. However, absolutely, the county council has not received any representations from residents on the other streets seeking the extension of the hours of operation of their schemes, so it's not clear that an area-wide modification would command the required level of support. On balance, therefore, it is not considered appropriate to undertake further assessment on this request. However, it will be kept on file if evidence is presented that the majority of residents on William Road, Warren Avenue, Cyril Avenue and Wellington Street are generally in support of permit schemes. The council will undertake necessary assessment work, and that's basically it. So basically they've turned that one down, which absolutely baffles me because I'm not sure why they're saying other streets in the scheme. I would have thought each street was its own scheme, do you know what I mean? But I'm not a county councillor, I am going to get back to them and just say, can they only look at it again, because that's what the residents have asked me to do, and that's what we're there to do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a bit of bad news on that one if you're on Harris Avenue, but it doesn't mean it's the end of it, because we can still, you know, try and take it further, ask them to come out and have a look at that. And again, if anyone's got any comments or concerns that lives on that street, just get in touch with any of your councillors, and we're all there to help you, and then we can chase this up. So I've got the details of the person at the county council, so I will be responding to them on them 2 petitions. So I think that was it on highways, apart from, we all know that the potholes are really bad everywhere. You know, you can download an app called Fix My Street. The county council have actually got an app now. You can download that off App Store or what's it called, your Apple, if you have them. So you know, there is apps available, and then you can just, as you're walking along, if you see a pothole, take a photo of it, pick the appropriate thing on the app, and it just whizzes it across, and it uses GPS, so it actually knows where you are. And that's the best way to do it. And if you don't want to use them things, you know, just let us guys know. Like I said, there's lots of councillors about. Just, it doesn't matter which one you contact, and just say, you know, potholes down there. But we are aware. Tim mentioned earlier that I've been going out on my bike a lot, which I have, and I can't believe how bad the roads are. You think they're bad in your car, crikey. And if you go on an electric scooter, not in Stapleford obviously, the roads are even worse. So yeah, keep letting us know, or keep reporting them, which helps as well. And I think on highways, that's it in a minute. Unless anyone's got anything, you know, email it across to us, and we'll all do our best to try and help you. Thank you, David.
Thank
Can
you.
I just jump in on that with a bit of a comment?
Yes.
Yeah, the issue that's going to be coming up with highways for some time, I think, is going to be that the county are in a desperately bad financial situation. This is going to be an issue for for the future. We know that there's a backlog of highways work that needs doing. At the moment, you know, whether you think that the county councillors have been proactive at staying on top of that or not, I think that, you know, over the coming year, looking at the county's money, or a complete lack of money, due to their responsibilities with COVID and social care and things like that have been obviously under COVID. There've been a huge ask. With not very much money coming in, but lots of money going out, and all councils are in this situation. But the county council, because it covers such a vast area, are particularly adversely affected by it. Nottingham City Council, though it doesn't affect us here, are in a really bad state as well. So I think that, you know, I don't want to say, oh, it's all going to get better if you just report it. I think it's important to report it, but I think it's also, you know, it would be irresponsible to not say that over the next couple of years at least, I think that the roads are going to get worse, and no matter how well intentioned whoever's running the county council at the time, no matter how well intentioned they are, the roads are going to be in a bad state, because you cannot do. So that you can't do that work and pay those people to do that work when you have no money. And so I'm not saying it because I want to sound like doom and gloom. I'm not saying it because I want to let anybody at all off the hook. But I'm saying that, you know, be ready for it. We've got to be ready for it.
You're quite right to say that. And actually, in Stapleford itself, there's only been 2 roads done in the last 5 years. One was Ulam Lane, and it's a shame that more work hasn't been done properly. They're very good at painting lines everywhere, obviously, but it is a problem for the simple reason is we've been notifying county for a good 10 years on roads that haven't even been touched. And obviously one is Pinfold Lane, which is coming up, which is good. So I think a new, fresh list needs to go into the county and see what response we get. But I appreciate you coming back on that one, Tim. Is there anyone wishing to ask any questions on your supercomputer?
Jake has said 9 minutes ago, because we've been talking about roads for a while.
Okay.
Jake has said that the whole length of Nottingham Road and Derby Road through Stapleford need resurfacing, and I think that's something that we all agree on.
Yeah.
This actually is a thing we have as councillors notified County Council over the last 2 years, and I've sent pictures as well. And he is quite right. Jake, I think you said it was. Jake, yes, we have notified the County Council. And if you go on buses sometimes, which is not very often at the moment, it's like riding in a bad fare machine. So it does need doing. You're quite right. Thank you for that statement, Jake. Now, I don't know if Councillor Carr has come on to us, has he?
No.
No. Pip Hallam Davis, is Pip Hallam Davis there? And is there anything she would like to say or ask about?
Off the top of my head, just something that I read earlier was that just to notify people that, or remind people if they haven't seen, that due to Christmas, the green bin, which would have been green top bin and glass collection, which would have happened on a Monday, of course, will be happening on Saturday.
Oh, thank you for that. Yes,
Get them out tomorrow night.
I'm sure lots of people are saying, "Oh, check our bins." Thank you very much for that, Pip Hallam Davis. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm summing up here. Unless we get any more questions or comments, my first one is, as I'm on planning at Broxtowe, I will just make everyone aware that the MacRae site now has the plans for a 78 bed residence for Stapleford. Residential home has been submitted, has been passed, and we look forward to that planning site to be built on. There are plenty of car parking spaces in case anyone is interested. I would like you all, and I say this from Tim and Richard, of course, we'd like you all to shop locally at our local shops. It's very important for our businesses. You've probably heard all this from me before. Next year's Hemlock happening, we can't say yet. Obviously, it's too early. If we did have one later in the year, it will probably be smaller, but we'll have to wait and see how the COVID situation goes on. I like to remind people of hands, face, and space, like I did when we put the lights on the town's tree. That was good fun. Remember that only the doctor will contact you, the surgery will contact you for the vaccination for COVID. It's very important that you do not ring your surgeries unless it's an emergency. They will contact you. I'm waiting for mine, so hopefully I'll get it sometime in the next, hopefully 3 months. We also mind people that the Mayor of Broxtowe did a Christmas appeal, and many families in Stapleford will receive gift vouchers and parcels and Christmas goodies and priority list. And obviously we thank everyone that's been involved in that. We have to be very careful. The Council of Broxtowe made it very clear that they'll be checking shops, especially food shops, who are crowding people in. Please keep your space. These shops supposed to be, especially the bigger ones, supposed to be having one in, one out sort of thing. It's not happening. Broxtowe are going to try and make sure that that does happen. The less people that get COVID, the better. And on behalf of myself, and I'll come back to Richard and Tim, on behalf of myself, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and be careful at Christmas. and a happy new year. And hopefully, come March time, we might be able to put one of these on again. Last time we had a lot of people that came on, and that is why we're back doing this one. Any comments, please contact any of us. I'll hand over now to Tim Hallam for a little sum up and Merry Christmas type thing. But from us all, I thank you all very much.
Thank you, David.
Cheers, mate. I'm going to I'm just gonna reiterate really. For some reason, it's not switching to my camera. But maybe you're all blessed in that regard. So just reiterating really what you pointed out about the shops and the borough council, more specifically environmental health at the borough council, being responsible for checking that they're following the rules, checking that they're doing all that they can to keep people safe. Now, I'm going to shoot from the hip on this. It shouldn't be the borough council's responsibility. There are a very limited number, I'm not going to tell you how many, but there are a very limited number of environmental health officers that are in a position to do that. And really and truly, the staff at the borough have got plenty to be getting on with without getting a last minute 11th hour mandate from government, which is what happened, to say you are now responsible for checking, spot checking all the supermarkets and making sure that they're following the rules. Really, that's not what the borough council is there to do. And it hasn't been given any extra staff to do it either. So I would say help them out if you can. If you're in a business, particularly a retail or a hospitality, what hospitality is operating at the moment, business, and you think that they're flouting the rules, that they're not doing everything that they could to keep you safe, then get in touch with, talk to the business directly if you want to. It may just be an honest mistake, and I'd like to think that 99% of the time people aren't deliberately doing the wrong thing and that it's just an honest mistake. In which case, talk to the business yourself and say, look, I wasn't very comfortable here. There were too many people in the shop, etc., etc. If you don't get any response from that, or if they're less than compliant, then make the council officers' jobs easier, please. There are literally a handful of people that are, and the borough is huge. So if anybody could make reports for businesses that are flouting the rules to the borough council, then at least they'll have a heads up of where to investigate, where the improvements needed. But waiting for other people to come round and check and going, oh, I don't know why the borough council's not doing anything about this. It's probably because they haven't got round to it, because Broxtow's massive and the staffing of Broxtow is tiny. So do them if anything's wrong, do them a favour. So
thank you for that, Tim, because I've lost pictures of everybody.
Oh,
but I can't hear you.
On the live stream, it was Tim talking, and it's just got me and my daft art. So I don't know what's going off here.
I think that's better for everybody, Richard.
Well, I was just going to say, just in case anyone worries, there's a lot of fly tipping going off at the minute in Stapleford, and it's out of hand and it's ridiculous. As the councillor, of course we have to report it, because if we don't, then it's bloody councillors don't do anything, rubbish all over the place. So we have to report it, and we'll keep doing that. But then,
do you wish to give a Christmas message to pair of you, please?
Hey?
I think David's trying to shut us up.
Yeah, hang on a minute. You have to wait a minute. So anyway, so the fly tipping, there's lots of it. I'm not saying it's on every street, on every corner. It's not that bad, but it is bad, and there's too much of it. So as councillors, we always report it, and that's what we do. And then people say, well, you shouldn't report it because people could keep putting it there, so you can't win. If I don't ring up the council or email them and say, look, there's a load of rubbish there, all I get is bloody councillors don't do it. And Matthew's Court there's stuff there all the time. I'll say where it is. People know who's doing it. They must do. Report them, because all this stuff that's being collected and taken away, it's costing money. It costs man hours or women hours, whatever. It costs money for people to come out and take it. It costs money for it to be recycled or chucked away, crushed, incinerated, whatever, to get rid of it. That's all money that could be spent improving your parks and stuff, because it's Broxton Borough Council that's paying for this. So I've heard some people say, oh, they charge 30 quid to take the rubbish away. Well, pay man in a van 20 quid and he'll chuck it in a bush and then get a £2,000 fine, then you'll wish you paid the 30 quid. So, you know, if you do use someone on social media, because I know there's loads of people and the majority of them are genuine, just check that they've got a waste ticket and it's a proper one. And if they are, they'll show it you. And it is, you can always ring up the council environment and double check the numbers to make sure it's genuine. But Matthews Court's really bad. Someone knows who's doing it. Let us know so they can get a fine. And also Faraday Court. The council blokes was round there this morning. They filled a van up. I've never seen anything like it. And they've got to come back. They reckon it's going to take them another 2 trips because there's that much stuff there. That isn't people driving past dumping it there. That's some lazy tramp, because that's what you are, that lives at Faraday Court, that's dumping stuff there because they know it will get taken away. So if you know, sort it out yourselves, because it's not fair on the other residents. You can end up with rats and everything, you know, and that's what it does. It comes down to it's just laziness. So stop doing it, because you make the area look bad, and then, you know, it would save the council money, and it's money that can be spent on the parks and making them better for you, and other things as well. Not potholes though, because that's not what Broxton does. So, you know, but yeah.
Well, thank you.
Drives into the wall.
Thank you about dumping of rubbish. Anything else you'd like to say?
I suppose I best say Happy Christmas until David will be telling me off to everybody, and have a Happy New Year. And then also have a look out for tomorrow night. Santa's around in Stapleford with a sleigh, leaving the Old Mill Club at, I forgot what time, leaving the old Mill Club at 6 o'clock tomorrow, and then going round Stapleford, coming along Pasture Road and whatever. And then also on Saturday and Sunday, Santa's down at the fire station. You can't just turn up, it's not a random thing.
You want Ollie to survive, there's some damage done.
Sorry, give us half a sec.
Do we have a question?
There we go, we're good.
Oh, was that you? I thought
no, it wasn't me.
Oh, okay, sorry. So anyway, yeah, so look out for Santa doing his rounds tomorrow. You know, they've got some, what do you call it, some charity shaky pots, and before anyone tries to get anyone in trouble, they've got a licence for doing that, so that's nothing to worry about. And all the money that's raised by the Old Mill Club is going to Lee Richardson and his family, so, you know, dig deep, chuck your pennies in. There's lots of other people out there raising money for the same family, so it's a great cause. You get to see Santa, you get to see Brody Bear, you get to see the Snowman, and you get to see Naughty Elves and Mickey. They're all out. And then again on Sunday, they will be Santa's leaving the fire station at 6 o'clock when the grotto finishes, going up Windsor Street, down Brookhill Street, and then through Stapleford. We can't do every street. We really can't. We all wish we could, but you can't. We've got a big car with a trailer on the back. There's only certain streets we can do. We'll do our best. There's going to be online trackers online. So, you know, if you want to drive past, don't all come out and stand on a street corner and get into trouble, because you'll have David telling me off. You know, you'll see us coming past. Just stay in your gardens and whatnot. And enjoy it, you know, and like I said, Happy Christmas, and then hopefully the sooner we're all back together, we can all go out and have a beer or a drink of tea if you don't drink beer. So yeah, Happy Christmas, everybody.
Absolutely.
I better say Happy Christmas as well, or David will turn me off too. So since I was too busy talking about highways and COVID officers. So yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope it's as good as it can be in the circumstances, and for goodness sake, be safe.
Well, thank you very much, Tim, for your contribution tonight, and Richard. We've been glad to do this, and hopefully we'll come back sometime in March, all being well.
David, there's a question on the live stream from Vanessa, and she's just put, how about a massive collection point at the old co-op and a big tip day up top shops? Yeah, we've done them before. There is some bulky waste days being done at the minute. I think they all booked up really quick. There will be another one in probably January, February. I can't remember when. And as soon as as soon as Morris gets behind his podium and says you're all allowed out to play again, I don't doubt for 1 second the council will be doing one of them, because I know I enjoy doing it. I know the others do. So yeah, it's something that we'll look at definitely. But the way things are at the minute, it's just it is what it is, isn't it? So
as you and Tim have said, if you have any questions, send it to any of us, and if we can't solve it right away, we'll find someone that will try and help us. Thank you, and I wish you all a very good night, happy Christmas, good New Year, and stay COVID safe. Bye all. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Is that it? We're logging off.
Oh, I think we're done.
That's it now.
So I'll just press end now, then. I'm not being rude. I'll just press end and then it will cut us all off, won't it?
Yes.
All right. Take care.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Hurrah.